Presented by Climate Power Education Fund. Does big oil care about our streets flooding or our home burning? Not according to an ExxonMobil top lobbyist.
Did we aggressively fight against some of the science? Yes. We were looking out for our shareholders.
They care about profits, not people. Learn more at polluters.exposed.
FOMO. My name's Patrick McGinnis, and I'll admit it, I have FOMO. And since you're here, I'm going to bet that you do too. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. If you learn to channel your FOMO productively, you can make the most of every opportunity while keeping your sanity in the process. This is FOMO Sapiens After Hours, the snackable show about how you can make FOMO a force for good. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of FOMO Sapiens After Hours. Today, I want to talk about the perfect morning routine. Did you know that there is a series of steps that you can follow every morning, and if you do it exactly right, you will be so successful. You will be post-economic rich. You'll be richer than all your friends. You'll be better looking, more fit, more charming, more popular, just all around. You'll actually be taller as well. Obviously, okay, that's obviously not true, right? There is no perfect morning routine, but people love to obsess over morning routines. And actually, there's this whole thing on YouTube. It's called beeline perfectionism. And I heard about this, and then I was talking to one of my really close friends about this, my friend Jason, and he told me his son Oliver, hey Oliver is very interested in morning routine videos on YouTube. This is like a little bit of like it's like a AMSR kind of thing. Like people like to watch these videos about like the perfect morning routine and the perfect desk and all that sort of stuff. And so there's a lot of culture around. There's all this sort of FOMO sort of productivity porn out there. There's the Cuts How I Get It Done. There's the New York Times Sunday routine, which I've actually had a few people I know who are in there, and it's awesome. But I'm sort of like, do you really do that on Sunday? Like, no, you don't. And so I've actually seen them on the Sunday, and they're not perfect, right? So it's a lot of stuff that's put out there, which is kind of interesting, but I think it's not real. And so I want to talk about that because it is interesting to hear about the quintessential morning routines that successful people follow, right? It's things like, well, they get up and they journal, and then they read, they meditate, they do breath work and visualization and a gratitude practice. They take their 5 a.m. run. They make the absolutely most beautiful Instagrammable matcha latte, which I like matcha lattes, but not at 5 a.m. They do yoga, of course, and it's not even 8 o'clock yet, right? And so there's this whole concept of the 5 a.m. club. Like if you get up really early, you're going to be way better, which really stinks for somebody like me who I'm not good in the morning. And frankly, the idea of getting up that early, it's just not in my DNA. And we all know that we're all made differently. It's sort of like, if you ever did yoga before, it's sort of like some people can do specific poses. They're going to be able to do the ankle to knee pose. Some people they're not going to get there. Like I'm not going to do a split. I could work on it for 35 years. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a yoga instructor who would like to tell me that I'm wrong, but I just don't think my body is ever going to do a split. And I'm pretty good with that. So, I'm also never going to be part of the 5 a.m. club, and I'm okay with that too. But it is sold to us like this bill of goods. And there's, I read an article recently in Business Insider about Tim Cook of Apple, and he gets up at 3:45 a.m. And sort of like, I'm thinking like, well, if I get up at 3:45, will I be the CEO of one of the largest companies in the world? I don't think so. But that's what people are trying to tell me, and I don't like it. I don't like being offered that. And I also think that it's saying to us, well, if you start things right, the rest of the day doesn't really matter. It's like you got to get it right in the morning, and then everything else is perfect. And you all know, if you haven't read it, I will break you in on a little secret, which is like this thing about breakfast being the most important meal of the day is propaganda, right? It's I guess it was started by the Egg and Bacon Association of America, because now we're all told like intermittent fasting, you don't have to eat breakfast. In fact, I haven't had breakfast in a really long time. I like the foods of breakfast. I like to eat them later in the day, but I never was able to sort of like put food in my stomach in the morning. I just can't do it. And so I used to feel like, oh man, I'm really screwing up here. No, it's all propaganda. Hey, FOMO Sapiens. I want to introduce you to my friends AJ and Johnny, the hosts of the Art of Charm podcast. Over the last 15 years, these guys have dedicated their lives to helping listeners to master advanced social skills, elite human dynamics, and emotional intelligence. On the pod, you can learn from leading experts in fields such as psychology, productivity, leadership, and persuasion so that you can crush it in business, love, and life. I love the show so much that I was even on it last June, so go check that out at theartofcharm.com and then listen to new episodes every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever else you get your podcasts. And so I just want to demystify, or I guess just debunk the idea that there is a perfect morning routine. And of course, this is not, I don't think it should be that controversial, but I just think we're all, again, we're fed this sort of concept. And I remember with writing, it's a very similar kind of thing with writing and productivity, where I used to read about writers who they would say, well, you have to get up every morning and write from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And I remember thinking, that's, first of all, as I just said, I'm not going to get up that early. Second of all, that sounded very rigid to me. That's just not the way I see the world. And in fact, when I started working on writing a book, because before I wrote my books, I actually worked on a fiction book, which is not a very good book. And there are some chapters out there that I will never publish them unless I can fix them. But I remember writing, and I enjoyed writing at random times of the day. And I thought, well, I'm really productive at these times, but am I doing it wrong? Because writers are supposed to write 3 hours a day, and then they're supposed to, not do any more that day. And it's supposed to be very fixed and very stable. And that's just not who I am. And so I think it's important, just as I learned with writing, like, how I wrote my books. This is like what you're not supposed to do. I treated it like I was doing like a pitch in investment banking days. And I just went and worked really hard for 6 weeks, just every day, 12-hour days until I had a draft. And so that was the right thing for me. I don't think I could have gotten a better result had I done it the 2 hours a day in the early morning way. I just had to find the right way for me. And so it goes with the morning routine. Let me tell you about my morning routine. Okay. Here's the big secret. I don't have one. So every day, the night before, I look at what I have in the morning and I say, okay, I need to get up at XYZ time. Great. Okay. And then I set my alarm. I go to bed. I wake up at that time. Sometimes I wake up early. That's fine too. And in fact, if I wake up super early, these days I've been waking up, at weird hours, like 5 or 6 in the morning. I use what my friend Nirayal recommended to me in terms of falling back asleep, which is you say to yourself, the body gets what it needs. So if the body has had enough sleep, you get up. If it hasn't, you'll fall back asleep. That's a little trick I use to sort of overcome that frustration of waking up too early. But then when I get up, that's it. I get a coffee, and then I just, sort of figure out what I'm going to do for the day. And maybe that day I feel like going and doing something physical. Maybe that day I have to rush out the door. Maybe that day I'm going to read or do some emails. Maybe that day I'm going to just sort of chill out. I don't like to meditate in the morning. I just can't get my head around it. I do that later in the day. I don't watch TV in the morning. I don't listen to music in the morning. So again, this is, and I'm perfectly productive. Would I be more productive? Maybe, but frankly, I feel pretty good about where I am. I don't need to optimize. I don't have the FOBO on that sort of stuff. And so I would encourage you to just sort of, if being highly rigid in the morning is what you need, yeah, good, go for it. But this glorification, this productivity porn around the morning routine, I don't want to have it in my life anymore. All that said, I'm sure some of you have the things that you do in the morning or the evening or the afternoon, things that really work for you that are sort of routine based, because I am a creature of habit. So I do understand the ritual and the benefits of ritual. So drop me a line. Let me know what works for you. Maybe you think, Patrick, you're crazy. The morning routine is the best thing ever. Or you say, Patrick, you're right. I don't believe in any of this stuff either. But I'd love to hear from you, and I'll be sharing some of the highlights on a future episode. You can reach me at letsconnect@patrickmcginnis.com. Or you can find me at PJ McGinnis on Twitter or Patrick J. McGinnis on Instagram. As you know, as I've been telling you over the weeks, I love hearing from you. You give me so many ideas for future shows. So check it out. Send me some comments. Let me know what I did right, what I did wrong today. And let me know what you'd like me to talk about on FOMO Sapiens After Hours. Every week's an opportunity to talk about something we heard on the show, or talk about something that is happening in the zeitgeist, or talk about stuff like this that just kind of shows up on my doorstep. And I'm sort of like, sounds like something we should talk about. So think about it, send me some information, and I will see you soon. FOMO. Want more of FOMO Sapiens and After Hours? Head over to FOMOSapiens.com, where you can listen to past episodes, learn more about the show, and find out how to advertise. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Patrick J. McGinnis and on Twitter at PJ McGinnis.